That's right. It's a moonscape. It's a moonscape for sure. It's rather sad, but this is the low point. Hopefully we can say the same thing about our politics in this country. They both coincided at about the same time. But not to get into that, but what do we have here? We have a massive fire. Like, this is the second largest fire in California history. And I'm gonna take some time lapse. I'll just take some still photos, come back in a year, and see what things look like. But anyway, I did see these palms, these poor palms. And I'm not sure, this is obviously some old homestead. It's been long abandoned. But I had to pull over, take a look at these guys. I think this will be one of my still shots right here. And I'll have another video like in a year. And it'll show the recovery of these trees. You can see they're already recovering. Look at this. This fire was, I think, about, 2 or 3 months ago? And it was pretty wicked. I have a ranch somewhat nearby, kind of like that way. And it came right to the very edge of our ranch. We got really extremely lucky, and there's a lot of homes that didn't get so lucky. And a lot of devastation out here. But anyway, what happens to palms when they burn? Well, they turn black. And that's a great way of trimming them real quick. And then they just grow out of it because they are adapted from fire-prone habitats. And they actually have a quite beautiful look to them when they're blackened like this. In fact, down in Habitat, I have some beautiful photographs of trees that were blackened from wildfires in their desert habitat where there's a little bit of grass to move the fires. But as you can see, these trees, look at the damage on this trunk over the years. And, you know, it's pretty tough to kill a palm, you guys. They're pretty good trees to have around. And if you think you're gonna burn, well, maybe this is one you want. It's totally healthy up there. And whatever dead foliage was on these trees was immediately burned off. And kind of surprised there's any foliage at all up there. But yeah, you can see the emergent fronds that are coming out. It's even starting to flower again. So these trees in probably, maybe 2 or 3 years, you won't even know. They'll be fully headed out. They'll still have fire scars on them, but the foliage will look fine. Now, what's interesting over here, this is a really good thing to talk about, and it shows why palms are so fire resistant. Now, if you keep your palms really well trimmed and there's only green stuff at the top, there's really nothing to burn. Here you go, look at this trunk. So the fire didn't just come up the tree. See, there's no burn marks on this tree. What happened, what caused this tree to burn? Because you can't, this is like really just not that flammable. The fire was down on the ground for sure. Everything on the ground burned. But because this was naked here, it's really tough. You could take a blowtorch to this thing, it's not gonna burn. It might char the outside a little bit. But what ended up burning was the top part. So obviously what had happened is some embers blew up in this tree, got it going. And that's what caused this thing to really light up. On top only. So basically just the top of the tree burned. You'd think the fire would have brought it up from the bottom, but it's just the top. So we have Phoenix Canariensis. That's a female right there. You can tell because of the flower structure and also the amount of seeds coming out of there. And then also over here, we have, that's our male tree right there. So we have an old couple here, an old couple that have been a couple for a really long time. And of course the Washingtonia foliferas, they are male, female, so there's no difference there. But anyway, that's pretty much how palms handle fire, and also other detrimental things. Look at the trunk on this. This is totally happy tree, totally happy. But it's got holes, it's got holes everywhere. I don't know if the cattle were doing this, but it really doesn't need a lot of tissue. Not only does it not need a lot of tissue to grow, it doesn't need much tissue just to hold it up. I mean, look, it's got completely carved out here. And we had record winds this morning. It was crazy. And you can see it's got a pretty good sail on it, and it's fully intact. And I expect it to remain so. So anyway, go take a look around and see what else I can find. It's pretty sad, but it'll all come back.